Hey everyone, it's Kellen Brower back again with another race examination video here on RacerXOnline.com. We're going to take a look at a couple things here from San Diego, highlighting the 450 main event. First of all, of course, Marvin Musquin gets out front, Chase Sexton would get him and go away, but Jason Anderson had a very up and down main event, and it started with this off-track excursion through the second corner, as you can see here. A couple posts from his Instagram. He jumps off the track, lands like basically on nothing on the side of the track, and continues on, jumps back in. He actually didn't gain a spot right there, so no harm, no foul. But he was making a lot of passes after that kind of early off-track excursion, moving his way forward, gets around Cooper Webb, continues his charge. Ken Roczen, he made a pass on him. Then he gets up to Eli Tomac, moves into second place, and he was running incredibly fast lap times, enough so that we were theorizing, would he catch Chase Sexton out front or not from here? But then moments later, his bike started smoking, and he was forced to start slowing down. He wasn't jumping some of the jumps. He's still doing the whoop sections, but he just said he was hearing some noises and decided not to do some of the bigger jumps. So he stopped doing the Supercross triple a couple of laps, and then was not doing some of the rhythm lane jumps as well, like the triples mid-rhythm. And I thought it might be this. So Dean Wilson posted it on the first lap of the race. He came down the inside and he clipped Jason Anderson. And Anderson's team, the Cowie team, actually said that it was a radiator issue. So they said that maybe the radiator cap had popped off. I looked at this in slow-mo a ton of times and never saw like Dino's front fender get into where the radiator cap would have gotten hit. But all the passes that Jason made after this were not like passes that the radiator actually got hit. So I thought this was only a situation it could have happened. Doesn't look like it really was the case. Now, there was some confusion that people were saying that Anderson actually broke his radiator in the contact with Ken Roczen. But I mean, if we look at the still image when the contact happens, he's not really anywhere near the radiator in that situation, so I can't imagine that would be the problem, where Anderson's radiator got popped right there, and either something with the hose, or maybe the radiator cap, as they were saying. So can't imagine it was here. I would theorize it was maybe more the Dino situation, but it also could have just been a freak deal. I digress. Back to the action. This was the talking point that everybody is still hitting on from the weekend in San Diego. Justin Bogle, as a lap rider, getting into Justin Barcia. Barcia off the side of the track, pins it down past the whoops, and yeah, so Bogle got disqualified. But it actually started with this, and kudos to Andrew Buchin for getting the shot here. But as these guys were battling for, I think it was 9th at the time, Barcia kind of lit up Bogle, and Bogle was not happy about it. So when Barcia came back around a lap or two later, this is what he chose to do and put Barcia on the ground. Bogle, like I said, was disqualified, and he says that, he has accepted it and moved on. Barcia, we initially thought that the penalty was for the initial contact that he had with Bogle, but it actually was from getting up and just basically clicking into third or fourth gear and holding it wide open down the side of the whoops here, which is a huge no-no. We've seen it many times before. You just cannot do that. So Barcia with the one-place penalty, Bogle with the DQ, but the big winner on the night, the first win of his 450 career, Chase Sexton gets it done, and kind of one of those weight lifted off the shoulders kind of thing, because so many people had theorized that Sexton had the speed to get it done, so when was he going to get it done? And you can see the emotion pouring out of him. Big for Lars Lindstrom, new team manager here, and 2 for 3 to start the season with Roczen and Sexton getting wins. You can see the high fives from Ferrandis and the hug from Roczen. Great for Chase Sexton. Now he's right in the mix for this title moving forward. I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by OnX Off-Road. Know where to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 500,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Download the OnX Off-Road app today. So moving on to the 250 class, and it kicked off in the main event right with a little bit of chaos. Michael Mosiman comes to the inside, gets the whole shot. Hunter Lawrence follows him in, and Christian Craig and a lot of other guys get piled up. Joe Shimoda, Chris Blows, Marchbanks, and both the solitary Yamaha riders. And I could tell you guys a little bit about this. I could break this down, but actually Michael Mosiman wanted to break it down for us.
I watched the replay, guys. It was kind of my fault. What? So here's what happened, all right? I freaking got a sweet start. You're right next to me. You're a great starter. Every start you do is sweet. And but I had the nose, and it's like, what am I going to do if I have a sweet start, clear track? Am I just going to go outside? No, that's stupid. So I go to the inside because I can, because I'm first one there. And then you were right next to me. You got nowhere to go. And then you were on the inside of him. And it just all bunched up. And because I was on the outside and had the good start, and my only option is to close it off. I'm not gonna like, oh man, like, all right, I'm just gonna go to the outside, you know, like got the sweet start. Here you go, guys.
So Nick, you asked the wrong question. It
Yeah, to
wasn't
the
for
wrong
me.
guy.
You asked the
Anyways,
wrong
that's
guy.
I
He's
saw the
got all
replay.
tea.
That's
What have
my
I
take.
started?
I don't take, you know, I'm not gonna take the blame for the pileup, but it's just
you should.
it's just
Yeah.
You think so?
I think it'd be a lot
Yeah.
better. I think Michael's to blame. So everyone that's pissed with their main, just
I
come
know
talk
it's like
to Mike.
it's like I didn't want to give the take, but it's also like I feel like it's just how it had. It's not how it had to happen, but
Well, how it had to happen.
Now, 2 days later, Michael was on the Pulp of X show and said he watched the footage more and realized Hunter had more room than he thought, so he kind of walked it back a bit. But there was also some drama when Christian Craig's mechanic Brent Duffy showed a screenshot of Mosiman lining up sideways in the gate and missing his rut after they took off. Drama's starting to build a little bit in this 250 class. But Christian Craig did a terrific job to climb back through the field. He came from basically dead last. He was pretty much the last guy to get up from the first turn melee. Obviously lost his visor in the crash as well, and just worked his way through the field, made some great passes to get there. Early racecraft was very strong. He was also, fantastic in the whoops. That's typical Christian Craig moves right there. And eventually made it all the way back up to a podium position. But the crux of the race came when Mosiman and Lawrence late in the main event were battling for the lead, and Lawrence gets kind of kicked sideways right at the end of the whoops and goes down. He was able to pick it up. He lost his visor as well, but he kept on going. So this kind of all starts off with, you can see Lawrence and Mosiman just got around Cole Thompson, and Lawrence is coming down the right side of the whoops. He's got a better drive than Mosiman, but he's trying to also avoid Nate Thrasher, who's rolling through the whoops right there. So he's getting a little bit kind of kicked sideways. He misses the third to last whoop, bounces in, kicks back across, and is pretty lucky to not get hurt worse there. Like, he got dragged on the back of Mosiman's bike a little bit, didn't get a hand lodged in with the wheel or anything weird like that, because a lot of things could have went wrong. But he bounced right back up and got back on his bike and actually caught back up to Mosiman on the last lap of the race. Gave a good effort of it here, trying to close in. Was trying to get around. They were both trying to get around Jalik Swoll. By the time they were able to make it through, there was a little bit of a gap established for Mosiman. And when you know it, Michael Mosiman picks up his first career 250 main event win. Another one of those things that I feel like a lot of people were saying, it's coming, it's going to come one of these days, and it finally all paid off for Mosiman. So Mosiman moves back to 11 back in the championship of Craig as Lawrence moves to 6 back, and we head into Anaheim 2 this weekend.